Welcome to the Star Wars Stuff Podcast, where we talk about all things Star Wars. My name is James.
I'm Sam.
Colin. Oh.
We did decide in order. I was sorry, I already screwed it up.
I'm Brooke.
And I'm the Frog Lord.
Okay.
Yeah, right now on Zoom, on Zoom, David has Frog Lord on his screen. He said it's an Easter egg, and I'm still trying to figure out what the Easter egg is, but we're not going to talk about that. But so in news this week, of course, Mandalorian dropped, which was awesome, and it was a great second episode. And there's a lot of news. Colin at first was saying we don't have much to talk about. I was like, a lot did happen this week. So I figured we should.
Mandalorian.
Yeah, it's not all about Mandalorian.
Yeah.
There's more stuff. So I figured we would talk about the news, and then we'll get into the Mandalorian breakdown. So I think the big thing, not the big thing, but one of the cool things that happened this week was Disney released the holiday special Lego trailer. What did y'all think about that?
There was a lot going on. If you're a fan of Star Wars Rebels, like they for sure are going through the world between worlds, and that's when they introduced time travel. So this is going to have a lot to do with time travel, and it's going to be very interesting because in the trailer you see the same characters but like the different aged versions. So there's the version from New Hope of Han Solo, and then like the Force Awakens Han Solo, and then the young version's like, who do you want to shoot first, and then the old version's like after you, and then they both shoot at the same time, and you're just like nice.
Yeah, that made me pretty
nice.
happy.
Yeah.
What did you think about it, David?
I thought it was pretty good. It hyped me up a little bit. I really was kind of lukewarm on the whole prospect of getting a Lego holiday special, but I kind of got a little excited, and to get it on Life Day, it's going to be I think a fun experience. It seems like the comedy is not as cheesy as I thought it was going to be. So I think it should be fun.
It will be cheesy, like no doubt. Like at some point you'll be like, okay.
Right. I know it's going to be cheesy, but I don't think it's going to be as
Not like too
cheesed out as I thought initially it was going to be.
What'd you think, Brooke?
Yeah, I just thought it looked super fun. Like getting to see all these characters that we love, like actually get to interact with each other. Like I think that's going to be really funny.
Yeah.
Fun to watch. I didn't know how I felt at first about Lego, but I think because it's Lego, like you can kind of have a little more fun with it, a little more like make it a little more funny.
Yeah.
Not as serious. So I'm excited for it.
What about you, Sam?
So I love like the ridiculous stuff in Star Wars, like the really dumb, like, that's like my favorite part of Star Wars. And so the fact that Disney like is finally like embracing the holiday special when it's been completely just pushed off in the corner, this doesn't exist forever, and they're making a comedy of it, I'm so excited. And the fact that they're bringing back kind of the Veil of the Force a little bit for all the the sequel, write it out of canon, folks. This adds to that theory, right? If they're embracing the Veil of the Force a little bit, I don't know. They're not gonna decanonize the.
No.
It feels like, like what Brooke said. It feels like with Lego, the Lego format, you kind of have that room to do ridiculous stuff with it. Like because I don't know, like you said, Sam, like the holiday special is such like a bad thing in Star Wars, a bad great thing in Star Wars. That nobody wants to think about it. So why not use Lego? Why not use the ridiculousness of it to kind of bring it? Okay, so here's my question. How much of the original cast is coming back for this thing? Because I know Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford are not there, but
It was not Daisy Ridley. That
Kelly, Kelly
Marie
Tran, Billy D. Williams, and Anthony Daniels.
Okay.
And Matt Lanter plus Tom Kane, James Arnold Taylor.
Oh wow,
they're all.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they were gonna have like the Clone Wars people coming too. So that's actually pretty cool.
It seems like a good way to bring it all together.
Yeah,
to get the past, the present, and I don't know. Like I'm watching it and I'm thinking this could either be really fun or this could actually be really great. Like this could be one of those like, oh my goodness, you have to watch this. Like it's a good story,
Right.
And of course, us Star Wars fans, we're ridiculous. You put Star Wars on something, we're gonna be like, oh, what? I want to see it.
Right.
So we're gonna be excited. But I have a feeling this is gonna be one of those things that you can tell your non-Star Wars friends, you can watch this and you're still gonna have a great time watching it. So
right,
that's what I'm hoping
but if
for.
they never watched it before, they're going to be so confused.
Well, I'm really
You
hoping.
have to have at least some knowledge about Star Wars. They
Yeah.
can't just like jump in. But
Yeah.
even if you're not like a diehard fan, you'd probably still be able to enjoy it.
Yeah, and something else about this is that this is actually kind of a sequel to the sequels because of this is taking place after the Rise of Skywalker. So
Which I was shocked that they thought about going past the Rise of Skywalker, because I
Yeah,
was under
same.
the impression that Rise of Skywalker was the end of it. So I'm wondering if they're going to start it off where it's like 3 days, like a day later, like, hey, you have to get
Like,
back for Life Day.
Barely after it, yeah.
Or even like she's looking at the sunset and they're like, hey, are you coming back yet? She goes, oh yeah, I'm on my way back. And then like they just pick up right then and there.
right,
It
man.
looks like it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. And
Yeah.
okay, so we have to put the acknowledge the elephant in the room. I don't think that's Max Rebo playing the instrument there.
How dare you? Why not?
Who
There's
else would it
time
be?
travel. It's possible.
But he's there on the Falcon. Okay, another thing. Poe's wearing like the child sweater, or is that Yoda on his sweater? Like, if you look at his
I've not
sweater,
heard
he
that
has
one.
like, yeah,
Oh, okay.
to the point where I'm wondering, are they acknowledging Star Wars The Mandalorian in the holiday special?
Well, I
Wasn't
mean,
Baby Yoda in it?
yeah.
Or did I make that up?
No, you didn't. There
Is
is an
he in
actual
there?
clip of where Rey is fighting Darth Vader, and they look down, and Baby Yoda's looking up, and they
Oh,
pause the fight, and
yeah.
then they're like so cute, and then they keep fighting.
I
Yeah.
cannot
So-
believe they're gonna bring it all.
Oh,
together.
yeah.
It's
So-
not going to be canon, right? Like it's
There's
not.
no way.
I-
I said that
So-
I was watching. I was like, there's
I
If
no
like-
they're
way.
gonna
well-
do that, then they're just gonna throw out all the stops and make a goofy
Well,
holiday special, you know?
I mean, they like kind of did make the holiday special kind of canon by saying, in the first episode of The Mandalorian of Life Day. I don't know if the events of the holiday special
sure,
are
that
canon,
holiday
but
VR Wookiee porn is not. It's not
Oh.
canon.
yeah,
That was awful.
yeah. So
Well,
like-
Favreau, we all know Favreau has like a real fondness for the holiday special, and he
Yeah.
took elements
Yeah.
from it. I don't think the whole thing is canon, but there are elements. that
God,
he drew-
please no.
he drew from
Well,
it.
so okay, so here's the thing: if that ends up being Max Rebo, like in the
Oh
Falcon,
my god, here we go.
I'm calling it canon that Max Rebo survived, and I will broadcast it forever and ever.
No, this is
I
time
will.
travel. It's probably they pulled him from the past.
So something else that I was just thinking about, like what the holiday special like kind of does is that there have been those reports of Disney wanting to kind of rewrite the sequel trilogy kind of out of existence. So with the holiday special and the time travel and stuff, I mean, they could kind of do that because
Well,
they
that's what I
might
was
rewrite
saying.
history. So that might be where the rumor was coming from, was from this holiday special. But again, this holiday special probably won't be canon. But
I would like to think it is. I would like to think it's just a fun.
Fine.
No, I meant
I'm
not-
holding you to that if Max Rebo's alive, by the way.
I meant like not like
It's not canon. It's
It
not
rewrites everything. I meant it's just a
I
fun
don't.
extra adventure for these characters. Like they're gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm thinking, and that's what I'm kind of hoping, that it's just gonna be a fun adventure that we could all be like, oh wow, that could have happened. It was great. It was fun. So what day is it coming out again?
November 17th, the
Actual
actual
Life Day.
original day of Life
9
Day, yeah.
days. Well, I don't know when this is.
Why-
This is airing
why-
tomorrow,
I was thinking,
so
oh, yeah, it's,
8
coming out in a
days.
couple months. Why did I not realize it's November?
Yeah.
Where did this year go?
Yeah.
Yeah, this year was really strange, but you know what? This year kind of got better because Mandalorian season 2 is doing really,
Yeah.
really great.
Oh, it's
Mhm.
But before we get to
amazing.
that, what other news do we have? I know David was like, "Oh, we have this, we have this, we have this." What other news was there, David?
I'm not.
So the
down
other
with that.
news we have is the fact that tomorrow, well, depending on when you listen to this, Monday, November 9th, will be the last day you can back the HasLab Razor Quest.
Wazer Quest.
Great.
Yeah, the
laser-
Wazer Quest.
la-
So it's the very last day you can back the Wazer Quest.
Oh man. Yeah. That thing is gonna be on the level of when they did the sail barge, because of that also sold quick, and now like it's probably one of the most hot items out there for fans that really want it, because of I have a friend in the Great Lakes Garrison that has 4 of them, and he like sold 2 of them. He has like 1 like on display, and then he has 1 in the box. So
Nice.
the new Razor
crest will be like that. Sorry, Dave.
So yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Cell barge, the goal was like 5,000, and I think they're about 200 short right before the deadline. And Kevin Feige like swooped in and he bought the 200 to get it made. So yeah, the Russo brothers talk about how they went to his house for some meeting for a Marvel film, and they saw 200 boxes in his house.
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that's how big of a Star Wars fan he is, and of course we know he's going to produce a movie.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what he's gonna do with that. But
Yeah.
anyways, one thing I like about the Razor Crest, geez, now I'm gonna be like
The Razor Crest.
the Razor Crest is it's
That's actually
becoming
a better name, the Razor Quest.
Nah, it sounds too Star Trekky for me. But like it's the shape of the ship and how it's being used is gonna start to become an iconic thing in Star Wars, like the Falcon or the X-Wing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that, where it's like, oh, it's the Razor Crest. Like, look how cool. Like, you could see the outline of it, and you'll know immediately what it is.
Right.
That's what's really cool about that ship. Is I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's like what Kathleen Kennedy said on a gallery, that every Star Wars character has a silhouette. So
That's
every
awesome.
ship
Yeah.
has a silhouette too.
Every ship does have a
Apparently.
silhouette in Star Wars, so that's really exciting.
Yeah.
So for my hope that one day, I mean, because over at Galaxy's Edge and Orlando, I think California too, they actually do have like leftover property, and I'm hoping that one day like they'll expand over and you'll be able to see the life-size thing of the Razor Crest, just like we see the life-size version of the Millennium Falcon, and then you would see like the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda maybe like walking around or something like that. It would be so cool.
Yeah,
That would actually be pretty cool.
both parks do have a spot. It's if you're looking like into the land, it's to the right of Smuggler's Run. So essentially where like the First Order area is. There is a plot of land on both parks for future expansion of Galaxy's Edge. But I don't think Disney has a plan for that. They probably have an idea, but it's not set certain anyway. It's probably 5 to 10 years out at least.
The problem with, I mean, Disney, Galaxy's Edge is amazing. I love Galaxy's Edge, but since they put themselves in that timeline and in this type of spot, it's going to be hard to expand and to keep it all kind of canon unless they switch the idea that it's not just, Smugglers, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just Galaxy's Edge, that it's also all this other stuff to where you could add another part to where, Mandalorian and the child could exist in this other place and you can have a whole ride over there. But I don't know. Like I said, I love that they did Galaxy's Edge, but at the same time, it's like, man, they really kind of limited themselves as to.
I do agree.
Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. But the fact is they're on Batu, which is a place we've never seen in the movies before. So they're not limited to like Mos Eisley and like Mos Eisley as it looks at this very time. The only things that actually set the land itself in like between Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker is basically like all the Stormtrooper animatronics, Kylo Ren, Hux, right? All that stuff, right? Which I think they could easily just reskin like over the course of even like a month if they, they could do that pretty easily on Rise of Resistance.
Right.
And they could completely change the timeline of where Galaxy's Edge sits in. And I think they'll do that in 10 years. They'll make it all like OG Stormtroopers and stuff. That's my hypothesis. They're Darth Vader in.
They'd have to completely redo
the
Rise
rides.
of the Resistance.
No, they wouldn't though. All they would have to do is change all the costumes and then like redo the animations with Kylo. They could use the exact same Kylo Ren animatronic, just put a Darth Vader costume on him. Same exact animation, right? Like it's not a hard, like Disney has done way crazier overlays of attractions, right? So that's my thought. I'm thinking 5 to 10 years, like after, they don't really care about the sequel trilogy anymore. They're going to just like they're just going to rescan and they're going to advertise the crap out of it. And they're going to put like original Stormtroopers in, Darth Vader,
That'd be cool. All right, okay, maybe that'll happen.
So that's my hypothesis, because if you look at it, they could have gone way harder sequel trilogy in Galaxy's Edge, and they did, right? Because they wanted to feel as classic as possible, but obviously they had to stick with the Disney Star Wars movies when they made the land, because that's what they're selling, right? But they didn't do anything in my eye that like throws them into a corner of absolutely can never get out of this. So I think they're gonna go OG trilogy, 10 years.
I like it.
And then they could throw in Mando if it was like, or I don't know, it's a little tricky because Mandalorian is obviously after.
Well, well, it's before, and it also just depends on like where the timeline goes for those future seasons. Like, who knows?
And at some point too, we don't know, because they could just be like, yeah, we're gonna kind of forget about the canonness about it a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's it's kind of sad to think about now, because that's something that's really special about Galaxy's Edge and is really different from any other theme park land, really. I mean, you get that a little bit with Harry Potter World, but at some point, I think it'll lose a little bit of its magic just as it ages 10 to 15 years down the line. And then they probably could do things that aren't really strict in the canon, right? Then it's a theme park land, which I hate to say because it's more than that right now. But at some point, it will just kind of be a theme park land. And then, then there could be Mandalorian stuff or whatever the next big Star Wars thing is.
Huh. No, I'm really sad, but thank you.
I think that's a good point because the 50th anniversary is coming up pretty soon. So.
Yep, it is coming up next year. Yeah.
Complete new skins next year.
What they should do is just
$5
a second area, second area and make that all like original trilogy land, and then you can go to both.
I know, but I don't know how I feel about that though. I mean, like
I hope they keep it one.
I am
land, but I don't mind them switching
still bothered by going on Star Tours and then like the first space mission that you're doing is like the Battle of Hoth, and then like halfway through at the end you're in the Battle of Coruscant and you see vulture droids and everything like that. So I'm not a big fan of like doing like crossing over like that. And the like holiday special will be okay because that is actual time travel, but going into Star Tours and then like switching over from different eras like that, I've just gone through hyperspace. I was never a big fan of that.
So I agree, but the original Star Tours literally went in the trench run and Star Tours blows up the Death Star. So like they've never tried to be canon in Star Tours. And so like then it's just kind of like, here's the exciting adventures you can do in the Star Wars universe in the goofy Star Tours setting. And that's what Star Tours is. So you can't, I hate that, like, because it used to be that you could have like Kylo Ren and then you could see like Jango Fett. And it's like, wait a second, what is this? Like depending on your thing. But I think you kind of just got to suspend reality a little bit on that ride, unfortunately.
Yeah, and to me, it's just a ride. It's not a film. It's not a TV show. So
it's not trying to be canon.
It's a way of life, David.
It's a way of life.
Star Tours is life.
I want to experience like all like the big battles and all the exciting stuff in one ride. So.
And I keep telling you, when you actually go to Galaxy's Edge, I want to be there for like your reaction of everything. Like I have to be there for you and Joseph going. So, and that might be, in 2022 when they do Star Wars Celebration. So,
whoop whoop.
And James will live there by then. So
yeah, maybe I'll be right down the road from there. That's the first thing I told my wife. As soon as we move there, I'm gonna be like, we're getting season passes to Disneyland like immediately. So there's no question. In other news this week, next week, A Certain Point of View of the Empire Strikes Back book is coming out, and if you haven't read A New Hope, read it. It is awesome.
Oh yeah.
And in case you don't know what it is, it's different authors wrote different like chapters of this book, and it's from a different character's point of view of Star Wars that you're not used to, and they're explaining their side of the story as the movie's going on. You know what I mean? And it's the first one they did for A New Hope was awesome. Except for the Mos Eisley Cantina stuff, like they gave each character something, and I'm like, I don't care, just get me to the next part. But it was really cool, and so this year they're doing another one, and I think it's gonna be just as great. Comes out this Tuesday, so get the audiobook, get the physical, get the digital copy, just get it and read it. I guarantee you're gonna love it. So did y'all read the first one? Did anybody read the first one?
I have read like bits and pieces of it. My like favorite story was of the cantina, the cantina bartender guy.
Yes.
We now know why he doesn't like droids, and it's because his parents were killed by droids during the Clone Wars. So I think those small details like kind of bring light to why some characters did things, and that makes so much more sense. And then it's funny if you go to the Mandalorian, the people who run the cantina are droids. So so now it's kind of cute. Right. So it's kind of like, what happened? Like during the time, like where's the original bartender? So these kind of stories, and I can't wait to see what we see in Empire Strikes Back. Like I would love to see the behind. I would love to hear the story of the guy who was carrying the I know his name. but I can't pronounce it.
Ice cream maker.
Yes, that guy. I would love to see
Will
his
Hood.
story. Yeah, him. I would love to hear like his backstory and why he's running and like
you know they're gonna do his like they're have to do
There's
the story.
from what we know now, there's got to be something super valuable in that ice cream.
Yep.
Machine, so.
Oh yeah.
That ice cream machine. The best story that I read and from A New Hope was that Yoda is on Dagobah, and then he hears Obi-Wan. He turns around, and he goes, "Oh, you're here now. Like, nice to see you." And he goes, "Yes, I'm here now." And it's like they've been communicating with voices, but now Obi-Wan's like, "Hey, what's up?" And then he says, "I'm going to be sending you somebody to train." And Yoda is like, "I would be honored to train her." And he goes, "No, not her, the boy." And Yoda's like, "I don't want to train him. He's and he tells him what he tells Luke. He says, "I've been looking at him for years, always looking to the horizon and all this other stuff." And he says she would be the much better, person.
Wow.
And so I read that. I was, oh my gosh, like that's so Yoda always wanted Leia
to train Leia.
He thought she was the key to it all. And I was like, that's so cool. So
Dang.
little things like that, and it's all canon, it's all legit.
Yeah.
The little things like that are in these books, and it's awesome. So I highly recommend reading the first one and also getting the second one when it comes out. Just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, and Gary Whitta, writer of Rogue One, he also wrote a story that it's not familiar at the beginning, but then it ties in to a very particular character you see at the very beginning of A New Hope. And it talks about his like family, his backstory, his rank, and what he was doing right before they were sucked in. The Tantive 4 was sucked into the Star Destroyer there at the beginning of A New Hope.
Yeah, there's
I
a
thought
lot of
that
cool
was
stuff
pretty
in
cool.
there. Oh yeah. So get it. Any other news before we jump into the Mandalorian? Or
the Celebration store is active again, or about to be active. They have a bunch of Mandalorian gear now that I guess was proposed, and now it's going to be available here coming pretty soon. There's shirts, there's pins.
They also
there's some
have
stuff from the first run.
They also have the original art that was supposed to be for the pass badges, because of it was supposed to be for like the 3-day pass or for like the VIP and like all that stuff. So they are now selling that as well.
Oh, the badges?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And again, like seeing all this makes me really sad that we missed Celebration, because Celebration, like seriously, is one of the greatest Star Wars experiences that any Star Wars fan can have. Because if you go in and you feel like you are really going into the mind of like George Lucas and just going into like a whole different world. I remember there was one day when at the 2019 Celebration where I was walking and they have like all the people that are like selling stuff, and there were just people bunching costumes, and I felt like I was in a marketplace, like in one of the planets and Star Wars. So it's so cool to see that kind of stuff. So when Star Celebration 2022, you guys need to really look into going. Like I'm talking to the people like that are hearing us right now, because it is amazing and it will like make your whole Star Wars journey even more exciting. Like it's crazy.
Agreed. My favorite thing at Celebration was I forget which speaker it was, said, "Hey, is it just me, or whenever you see someone with a hat on, you kind of give them another look like, is it Dave Filoni? Is it not Dave Filoni?"
Oh yeah,
because there were some dudes cosplaying as Dave Filoni, and I'm pretty sure I did see him, but I was like, that's not him.
No.
It was really funny. He was like, "Am I the only one who like kind of looks closer at a guy wearing a cowboy hat now?" I'm like, you're like, is that him or not? But yeah. So that's really cool that they're opening the store up for, and I believe if you bought a pass, only you are allowed access to the store. So if you don't have one, unfortunately, you can't get it. Is that correct, David?
Well, also that's correct. But if you sold your pass on Light, you can still have access. So your credentials are saved.
Okay, well, it's a good thing that that I just moved my pass to the next one in 2022.
Gorgeous.
So yeah.
Yeah,
well, that's exciting stuff. Well, get it and let us all see what you got. All right.
Oh man. I was just thinking of one more memory from Star Wars Celebration. Remember how I tried on my Stormtrooper suit, like at the place we were staying at, and we looked over and there was that guy watching
Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay.
That was
good
funny.
time Celebration.
If you go on our YouTube channel, Colin does yell, he's still watching Gordon Ramsay, and the reason he yells that is because when we got there, the way the hotel was set up, but it wasn't a hotel, it was an apartment. The way the apartment was set up, you can see into the other room right there, which is really weird. And we're like, what are they watching? Oh, they're watching Gordon Ramsay. Funny. And like 6 hours later, we come back and then we look.
He's still watching.
Colin's like, he's still watching Gordon Ramsay. But anyways, that was a lot of fun. I really had a great time there. So let's get into this Mandalorian stuff, eh?
What show?
There was one other thing in news, and it was
just kidding.
that that it was reported that that there will be a Boba Fett series coming out. David, right or no?
Yeah, there was a
rumor.
rumor of there's a bunch of rumors for a bunch of different TV shows, but there was a secret show, and allegedly this is a secret show. It's a Boba Fett series. It's a limited series, much like the Obi-Wan show. So it's just a rumor right now, and apparently a report came out from Deadline stating that it was possibly shooting this week. So don't know for sure if it's going to happen, but it seems like a lot of people have jumped on it and think it's going to happen. And Favreau initially approached Lucasfilm to do a Boba Fett movie or a TV show, I think, after Josh Trank left the project. So they had, I guess, pre-production, maybe a script for a Boba Fett film.
Yeah.
And Favreau has a lot of affection for Boba Fett, and he wanted to make a Boba Fett series. We got a de facto Boba Fett series with The Mandalorian, but now he's going to have the actual character that he really kind of coveted in the past. So
let me ask you this question. Do you think Favreau wrote his like Mandalorian with Boba Fett in mind, and that Boba Fett would get out of the Sarlacc pit, would find the child, and then would have to, like, his whole character would change and we would be following him through all of this? But when they said no, he changed it to another Mandalorian?
I think he had the ideas for it.
Yeah,
but he hadn't written it yet, because I think when he tells the story of Christmas time, when he sent scripts to Filoni, I think he knew he was not going to have Boba Fett as the main character. So he basically just reskinned it as Din Djarin instead of Boba Fett.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Essentially. And changed it around a little bit.
Which I like Din Djarin as the Mandalorian. It adds a whole like level of mystery to his character that you just wouldn't get if it was Boba Fett, right?
True. So, yeah, we would all be like, "Oh, this is a story about Boba
we know
Fett.
Who that guy is." Yeah. So they can do a lot, and there's this whole mystery. Still, there's a ton of mystery with this character. 10 episodes in.
True. Well, we'll see how that plans out, and the fact that they're going to be filming this week is kind of like a little too convenient. You know what I mean? I don't know. We'll see though. But then again, Disney's very secretive. They're filming on the volume, and there's no leaks, so we have no idea if that's true or not. So I guess we got to wait and see what happens. But yeah, pretty cool. So cool. Mandalorian. Season 2, episode 2, or chapter 10, I should say.
Yeah.
So what did y'all think? Sam, go.
I mean, I thought it was fantastic, honestly. I mean, I laughed a bunch out loud during it. Baby Yoda was pretty fun. The whole spider thing, or sorry, Krykna, what's it? How do you pronounce it? Krykna?
Yeah, Krykna.
Krykna.
I think that's the way you say it.
That's the pronunciation.
Yeah, Harry Krishna or something.
I mean, that was really epic and really cool. Obviously, you have the Dave Filoni cameo in there, which once again made me laugh out loud. But I thought it was great. The frog lady was really cool.
I loved her. I thought she was hilarious.
Yeah. So, and it's kind of cool. I think this is kind of the first of 2 parts probably for this arc. So I'd imagine we'll continue the story going to, what's the planet that they're going to? It starts with a T?
Trask,
that's the one. So I'm curious to see what happens there. But yeah, overall, I really liked it. I'll let other people say stuff before I go too in depth.
What did you think, Brooke?
I liked it. It definitely kind of felt like a filler for me. Like, I feel like I have so many questions, and so I was watching this and none of my questions got answered. So I was like, I had a slight frustration with that.
Oh, Matt's here.
Hey, Matt.
I loved the frog lady. I just thought she was so funny. And smart. Like when she reprogrammed that droid so she could speak into it and he could understand. I was like, oh my gosh, she's so smart. That's so cool.
I love that too.
That was
and
really
like
great.
I was just so stressed about Baby Yoda the entire episode and the eggs. Like when the whole scene where he was like looking at them, I was like, no.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
That actually blew me away. That he ended up like actually eating some of them. I didn't think that they would do that because of like they like talked about of them being like the last of her kind of her species and
it's kind of messed
stuff.
up.
And
like 4 of them and I was like, stop it.
Yeah. Oh man. And
what was actually not the last of her species.
No?
She said it's the last of her line.
Her
like,
line.
of,
Okay.
like her children.
Yeah. I just thought it would be funny where like they would pan over and then Baby Yoda would be sitting there and just being like, and then it would be like, oh geez, no.
Like they're all gone. Matt, what did you think of first off, hello Matt. Thank you for joining us on the podcast.
Hello, sorry I'm late.
What did you think of chapter 10 of Mandalorian?
I'm kind of on the same page as with the egg situation. I was very uncomfortable with that. I was like, oh my god, he's eating our children. Like, what is going on here? I was extremely excited to see the spider species or whatever you call them. I don't know what we're calling them.
Not the word I would use when I saw them.
I feel like they remind me of creatures you see in that sci-fi film The Mist.
Yeah, they did. They looked like
they looked exactly like that. And I was like really impressed because I'd seen them before. I'd seen like we talked about this a couple days ago. David like posted something in our group chat about concept art from I think it was The Empire Strikes Back. How they like creatures, and I was like, oh, that's where I've seen this before. And it's super
very
funny to him. And I'm like, it's a very creepy and very like horror like set like chapter. And I was like, oh, this is kind of like Halloween-y a little bit, except for like that was last week, but whatever.
Yeah, this was one of the few episodes where I was on the edge of my seat in like fear, which I never really get that from a Star Wars.
Right. Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. Same.
I was like, I'm all like, what's gonna happen?
I was thoroughly impressed about the marksmanship of the New Republic pilots, and I was like, they got
they
are
aim. Not stormtroopers for sure.
They got aim.
Yeah. No.
I feel like they're like the cops. They're like, oh, we'll let you go this time. Don't do it again.
Something also cool about those creatures is that yes, they're from The Empire Strikes Back, but the first time for us seeing it actually on screen was during the episode during Star Wars Rebels, because one like takes Rex into its cave, and then they have to kind of go and save him, and then we also find out that they actually attack if you fear them, and Kanan and Ezra kind of learn how to control their fear, and then they don't attack.
That's right.
Yeah, so
why did I not remember that till like just now?
Me too. Right now I was like, oh yeah, that was a big moment.
That happened. That happened.
That was the whole thing.
And that like giant one, like I wasn't expecting it to be that huge. I mean, but the giant spider thing, like the queen, was like as big as the Razor Crest. So that was insane to see how like big the thing was.
Can we talk about the like how in the when Mando and that frog person that we didn't name, whoever was in the cockpit as they were about to leave, and then the queen got on top, and then she stabs 2 of her piercers through the windshield of the ship.
Yeah.
And we never see that windshield get like repaired or anything like that. And like just take off. And I'm like, wait a minute.
I think he was actually working on it. I
don't see any patch jobs, like especially when you see them like flying by in that last scene when they're in space and they're like just destroyed. The Razor Crest is completely fine.
We just won't talk about that. It's all right.
yeah. Like I mean, something that I'm interested for the next episode is if that thing is actually going to land or if they're going to have to crash on the planet, because that thing was like severely damaged.
Well, you remember in the trailer they showed it like flying and it's falling apart as it's going. So yeah, he's got to crash on whatever planet he's in, and he's going to leave the ship with somebody and they're going to fix it for him. I think that's what's going to happen.
Right.
So
and something else. And something else that a lot of people were thinking when we first saw the trailer was the snow planet was Ilum. It's not Ilum.
So disappointing, because that would have been so cool if they did that, but they did not.
So how do we know that exactly?
Well,
Yeah.
well, when they approached the planet, it did not have the same outline that Ilum does have, like in the thing, because of Ilum has like this kind of trench thing going on, because later it turns into Starkiller Base, and during the time of Jedi Fallen Order, it's already got that trench look. And when Mando approaches the planet, you can see there is no trench line going around the planet, so we know it's not Ilum.
But then again, we only saw like the top of the planet. We didn't see.
Yeah, it was like super
Could've
cloudy
been
at
on the
first, and
other
then they got really
side?
low.
Overcast.
Something else that there's another planet that it could possibly be, which is the snow planet that we see in Star Wars Rebels, where Sabine talks to her mom and like the Mandalorian clan that's on that planet, because I saw some theories there. There are like so many there's like a couple of snow planets, but I don't think that it's Ilum. I mean, if it ends up being Ilum, then I'm wrong, but I just don't think it's Ilum.
Okay, I'm gonna just throw this out there. I think it is. Just gonna say
Okay.
that because the ice formations and everything look just like Jedi Fallen Order. I mean,
Okay.
the way the way the wall was right there, I was like, man, it could be, but it's probably not. It's one of those things, and it's one of those things like if it was Ilum, they missed an amazing opportunity with what they could have done on this planet with
Right.
the lore of the Jedi and everything like that. So I'm hoping it wasn't for that reason, but also I'm hoping it was because that'd be like a really cool little thing they threw in there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was pretty cool. David, what did you think of Chapter 10 of The Mandalorian?
So I set my alarm to wake me up right at 2. I think I fell asleep around midnight. So I woke up. I was already on Disney Plus. And for some reason, the chapter wasn't loading right away like Chapter 9 did for some reason. I don't know if you guys had that issue, but it was on my
I was
Apple
asleep,
TV.
so
Yeah, we didn't watch it till later.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but I saw people posting online, and I thought someone texted me it was 41 minutes long.
Colin.
So,
Oh, me, yeah, it was me.
so yeah, once I started it, I mean, I had so much anticipation because with Chapter 9, of course, we got Cobb Vanth, a character that we thought was going to appear, and it appeared. So I was anticipating another character, and I texted you guys my prediction. I thought we were going to get Sasha Banks's character. We didn't, but we got Frog Lady, which is played by the same person who played Quill in season 1, Misty Rosas, which I guess they love her because they're bringing her back.
Mm-hmm.
And she's done a lot of stuff in her career. She's been around for a while.
She hops around.
Yeah, definitely, especially in this episode. So yeah, it felt a lot to me. I know if you watch the commentary on Patreon, James talks about it feels like a old like 1960s type of sci-fi episode in a way. And it felt kind of Star Trek-y to me as far as like a TV episode. And it felt kind of like what we were going to get in the future of Star Wars TV. And a lot of people are calling it filler, kind of like Brooke said. I don't think necessarily for me it was filler. And people say it didn't move the story along that much, but I think it did introduce elements, because I think the next episode we're going to get the whole reunion of the frog mom and the frog dad, and he's going to fertilize the eggs and the whole thing.
He's like, wait a minute, why are a few of these missing?
Yeah.
Don't ask questions.
Well, I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
I think the interesting thing also is the fact that each second episode of each season has to do with eggs as the MacGuffin. So we have the Suga in Chapter 2.
There's
And
a
now we
theme.
have
Yeah, that's what I was telling Kong
the
yesterday.
frog
I was like,
eggs.
so many
There are
eggs.
too many eggs. Yeah,
And then spider eggs too, the cricknet eggs.
Yeah. So like I mean something else that I was thinking. So in the first episode of The Mandalorian, like in season 1, we like saw that that creature that tried taking down the ship. And at first I thought like, oh, it's the creature from the holiday special, but it at the same time I was like, no, it's not. So I'm thinking when they go to this water planet that we might see that long neck, like water type creature that Boba Fett was riding in the holiday special. I think seeing that would be super cool.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Nice little nod.
Yeah.
Anyway, so should we like kidding. I'm just kidding. No, So do we want to break it down, or do we just want to talk about like the Easter eggs that we saw? Because there's a few little cool Easter eggs.
I want to say one thing about it being filler, because I mean, I felt a little bit like a little fillery about season 1 in general, kind of. There's a lot of like independent things, but I mean, this episode they bring back like what happened in chapter 6 with the prisoner break and stuff.
Oh yeah,
because they bring up like Mando, Din Djarin's like criminal past and stuff. That's what like the rebel pilot says, so there's some interesting things there. So I wonder, if all these little vignettes kind of ultimately add up to a thing, is what I guess is what it's going to happen to. So even though we don't know now, about how fillery this is, I think it might come out later, if like those rebel pilots show up later.
There's probably definitely some important elements in it. Just overall the episode, I just wanted so many more answers.
How crazy exciting. How crazy would it have been if the last shot of the episode was the ship, and then like buried somewhere on the ship is just one egg chilling? Like that would have been like, oh no, there's an egg there. It's
I wouldn't know. No. Well. I mean, so I feel like if that happened, then the next episode would be like the movie. Would it be like the movie
Alien?
Alien. Thank you. Yeah.
Which is what this reminded. When I saw the eggs, I was like, oh, here we are. We're an alien now. So this is gonna happen.
So Baby Yoda consumed one of those spiders. So does he have a possible?
Don't do that. No.
I draw the line,
dude. I'm not gonna lie though. Watching that spider on his head, I was like, oh god, no, please don't bite him. And then when she shoots him,
but Frog Lady had some blaster skill.
I was really happy with that. But no, when that little spider jumped on the child's head, I was like, please don't bite him, please.
Yeah.
And man, we see the child rolling in the dirt on Tatooine. I was like,
I know.
So that bounty hunter that was like holding him, that like had the knife, like to Baby Yoda, I thought that was like a Jawa, kind of wearing like a bounty hunter suit, like a helmet and stuff, because if you hear him, he sounds like a Jawa, and we've never seen like that type of a Jawa before. Like,
well, we actually have that was a creature in the Force Awakens that slaps.
We've seen that face
next to Rey.
I've seen that face before.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, there you go. I'm not a Star Wars fan. See you guys.
Knock it off.
Yeah. No. My favorite Easter egg, besides seeing Dave Filoni come back, would be the giant ant that is playing Sabacc, and that's an Easter egg itself, because the person directing this episode is Peyton Reed, who directed the Ant-Man films. So seeing a giant ant and then Peyton Reed directing, I was like,
And also that's a nod to the creatures when they first did the cantina scene back in '76, when they just found whatever they had. And I think they had a giant praying mantis that they just threw in there. And so I thought that was a nice Easter egg as well, being like, hey, there was some weird stuff in that you didn't see, but here's
right.
You heard the stories, and here it is. I thought that.
And the other weird fact is that ant is a doctor. The name is Dr. Mandible.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So Rudy pointed it out to me. I didn't see it. If you listen to the commentary on Patreon, you'll hear it. But I'm gonna just throw this in there. But the concept art for when they're playing Sabacc showed them at the same booth that where Han Solo shot Greedo. And if you look behind her in the concept art, you see the blast mark there. And I was like,
I didn't see that. That's really cool.
But I'm pretty sure they were probably setting it up, and they were like, that's too much. Like, that's like us going like, check this out. Here's this cool Easter egg from the same cantina, So I'm glad they changed it, but it was one of those things. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so one thing I loved was the pod racing engine heating up the meat, because that reminded me of Galaxy's Edge. Because when you get to Galaxy's Edge, you see it heating up the bantha meat there, and I was like, "That's so cool, man!" And they're all just sitting there watching it, like, "This is awesome." That made me laugh.
It wasn't on last time you were there, though. It wasn't active.
No,
it was just sitting there.
Yeah, it was on.
The droid wasn't like pumping it.
Yeah, and
the
then
way he normally does.
And then the fake like meat was not spinning like they usually do.
There was the sound in the background, and there was the light of the engine, but that was it.
Yeah.
Bunch of jerks.
Something was going on.
But I'm glad they showed that.
Goofballs.
And then
Yeah, and Treadwell is spinning it. Yeah.
Whatchamacallit? Yeah. Did you notice whenever she what's her name? Frog Lady? Is that what we're gonna call her?
Yeah,
Frog
that's her
lady,
official
I
name.
don't
Yeah, that's
remember
right. That
her
is her name.
getting-
Yeah, if you watch it with the subtitles, it says Frog Lady.
Oh, does it really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
And when she gets onto the Razor Crest in the background, you see her walking up the ramp, and you see the child like running after her really, really, really fast. Like it's so quick, you have to watch it, which was setting up his obsession with eggs already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And did you catch whenever he puts his hand up to the glass? Before he does that, he looks back to make sure no one's looking, and then he does it, and all the eggs come toward him. Part of me was like, okay, does he know what he's doing, or is he looking to make sure no one's watching him?
I mean, it's
Right.
kind of like a kid taking a cookie from a candy jar, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that was the vibe they were going
Candy
with.
jar. It's a cookie jar.
Cookie
Sam.
jar.
Egg jar, but
Egg jar.
I actually think that's the only time in this episode he uses the Force.
yeah, it's the only time this season he's used the Force. He hasn't.
Yeah.
They didn't show him at all the first two. So I mean, these.
He was actually making more noises than he usually
Yeah.
does too.
Yeah,
Noticed that
think-
too.
Talk. His first words are coming.
I
Took him
don't
50
think he'll
years.
actually say anything. Well, I mean, like, if he does end up talking, I'll be very surprised.
Man, you know those sound effects guys are trying to find the right tone,
Yeah.
right everything, so when he does talk, it's not going to be like, "What was that?" You know what I mean? Like
Right.
they want everybody to be like, "Oh," you know what I mean? So like these guys at Skywalker Sound are just like, "How is this dude going to sound?" Because we know for a fact he is going to be talking soon.
Yeah.
So it's just, what's he going to sound like, and will it be adorable enough for all of us to still stay on board?
Do you know how funny it would be if like he ends up talking and since he is 50, like he's a baby, so it'd be like, oh, he's gonna sound like a baby, but he starts talking, he's like, hey guys, and it'd be like,
It's Frank Oz all
it'd be like, oh.
I don't like. Man, they got to get Frank Oz back if possible.
Yeah, he could do it. They'll just like raise his voice up a little bit higher. You know,
Yeah.
it'd be good.
Oh, hello.
But
I'm Baby Yoda.
so one of the cool things I liked about this episode was, now that we all know how the show is being made, so whenever he's flying and the X-wings come up on either side of him,
yeah.
Just imagine you're there, you're Pedro
That's-
Pascal in the suit, and you look over and it's like, that's an X-wing flying right there. Like all that
Yeah.
was done in camera, so when the wings opened up, it's like, oh, this is cool. Like this is gonna get awesome. And I caught, because I had the subtitles on, it said Wolf, and I was like, Dave Filoni's back, here we go, there he
Yeah.
is. And it was pretty cool to see that chase there. He actually did outmaneuver them, which I was pretty impressed with. I didn't think he could outmaneuver two X-wings. But
Yeah.
I was pretty impressed with that. What else was it? What was another?
Yeah,
cool
well,
piece?
to me, it was kind of interesting that Dave Filoni actually showed up because he made such a big deal of him not wanting to film
Right.
that scene that Favreau really. So I was like really surprised to see him. And then there was another actor that I did not recognize at all, and I was trying to figure out. Yeah, it had to have been someone that we know, someone connected to Star Wars, and it's actually someone who's been a working actor who's on a TV show called Kim's Convenience in
Mhm.
Canada, and he's actually a part of the 501st. So he's been a
Yeah.
huge Star Wars fan, and a bunch
Awesome.
of people in Canada like erupted apparently online.
Oh, that's
Like,
so
wow,
cool.
that's the guy from the show. So it's cool to see actors like that get jobs in Star Wars. And yeah, he's apparently a huge Star Wars fan.
I love it. That's the best, man. When you see people who are like Star Wars fans in Star Wars, it's like, hey, there's a chance for me to be in Star Wars. Who knows?
Right.
But what was another thing? I laughed, and Rudy pointed it out to me. He was like, so whenever they start shooting the spiders, the number of spiders drastically like drops. So, you know what I mean? Like, to where when the camera pulls back, it was like there was way more there than just those few. You know what I mean? Like, so when the X-wing showed up, maybe they scared them away, or maybe they just didn't animate all the other spiders that should have
Yeah.
been chilling there with them. But yeah, that part was intense when they were all coming into the Razor Crest. I was like, what's
Yeah, I was freaking out. I was like, they're on the ship. They're on the ship.
I was like,
just-
yeah,
I was
well,
not
like
a fan.
how's he gonna get rid of all these things, and
Right.
Well, he did run like a little long distance there, and he caved in some of that cave. So maybe that stopped some of them. I don't know.
yeah, true.
But if you look back in the trailer that they released, there's actually a dead Krykna on the wing of the Razor Crest. And
Yeah.
we all kind of missed it when we first saw it.
Something else
Face toilets?
that keeps going on with the show is that in every episode so far, the Mandalorian has used his flamethrower. Like in every single episode that's come out so far, he has used it. So I'm curious if they'll just keep doing that going forward.
You got
True.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, and it's the first time we actually see like it like kind of like turn on slowly, which was
that was
a cool effect.
tight, man. He was
Yeah.
all like, and I was like, here it goes, man. You know,
Yeah.
you said it reminded you of a Star Trek episode. It also reminded me of that scene on Lost in
I
Space.
found the name of the planet, the ice planet.
What's it called?
Maldo Crease.
Okay.
I found
there
it on
you go.
Wikipedia.
All right. So
have we
it's
seen
not
it before, or is this the first time?
This is actually the same planet we see in season 1 when he has to use like a taxi system to get back to his ship, and then
Is it?
he's like,
Oh,
"Don't stay
wow.
on the ice for too long," and then he gets eaten by that animal. That's the same planet.
Oh.
There's already
That's the
there's
first
literally
planet we
already
saw.
an article about it on Wikipedia. I was like, "Dang, I could do this." No.
That's cool,
Okay.
man.
Wow. Okay. Well, there you go. It's not Ilum.
It
Okay.
says
You know,
while
that did
transporting
kinda
Frog
makes-
Lady. It even says that in Wikipedia. It
Yeah.
calls her
Okay.
Frog Lady.
I hope
So
we get her
we're-
name, so I don't have to refer to her as Frog Lady. I feel
No.
disrespectful having to call her Frog Lady.
Well, I mean, we got Walrus Man and Hammerhead. So.
Yeah, true. That's
Oh yeah.
probably why.
When she's actually like running away, she actually starts hopping too.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
awesome. I
Yeah.
like how
Yeah.
she was like, you know what, here we go, and then she and starts
Yeah.
jumping around. I like how she was just chilling there in the hot springs. Like, this is pretty cool, man. This is, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
she has all her eggs around her. She's like, this is nice. I like this. But
Well, I think the water temperature in her little canister was like dropping, so she needed to get them warm.
mhm.
I think
Even
that
in
was-
Wikipedia, her species is unidentified as of right now.
Mm-hmm.
We'll find out next week.
But it says that she returns in she's in chapter 5 according to Wikipedia, and she's in chapter 10. So we've already seen this species once before according to Wikipedia on the Mandalorian.
Where
Called
Does it say where in
it's
chapter
5 in Gunslinger. It doesn't say where. It just says that
I think it was a
she
cantina
makes a brief canon appearance.
like she herself or her species.
The species.
Oh,
okay. Because I was gonna say, I mean, it could be the same person because in chapter 5, it takes place in Tatooine. So
yeah, it could have been her too. Interesting.
Okay.
It doesn't say
All right.
where. It
Well,
just
there
says
you go.
the species makes a brief appearance in chapter 5 and then is seen again in chapter 10. That we know, obviously.
interesting.
And,
Okay.
and she's gonna be in chapter 11 because she's already in one of the trailers, walking next to him to that barge there when he's gonna go on the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the next episode.
Yeah, that has to be the next episode. And man, if what I think is gonna happen does happen in like these next few episodes, it's gonna just be absolutely insane because chapter 5 is directed by Dave Filoni. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is that what we talked about, which comes out next Friday, not this Friday. And I think that's one of the most like us Star Wars fans are just like, oh my gosh, what is Dave Filoni? Because he wrote it and he directed it. So everyone's predicting this is where we're gonna see.
Ahsoka.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Rudy has the idea that Ahsoka is not going to come out until the very last episode, and therefore season 3 is going to be like the greatest thing in the whole world. But I kind of hope they bring her in this season too, because like that would just be the best.
And I mean, and that's the same for like the very first episode of The Mandalorian. Like I was like, if Boba Fett doesn't show up at least once, like a lot of people will be disappointed, but they did not disappoint with how they showed him coming up. Like that was like the perfect way to introduce him.
You guys see all
I
that
didn't
fan
want it-
fiction about it being Jango Fett with like the stitching across his neck, and I was like,
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
s-
gosh.
"It's
It's not serious,
Jango
guys.
Fett," and I was like, "Who
It's-
told you that?"
Yeah, it's not serious. It's a joke. It's meant to be a joke.
Yeah, but
I
people
hope
like
so.
come up to me like, "Is it real? Is it real? Is he back?" And I was like, "No, he's not back. His head
You
was
psychos.
decapitated. His head was
Right.
capitated."
You can see it flying away from the helmet.
Yeah.
I never caught that until legit like 5 or 6 years ago. I was watching it finally like on a huge, like HD 4K screen, and whenever Mace Windu chops off his head and you see the helmet flying, you just see the shadow of the head flying out of the helmet. I was
I
always
always
under the
wondered.
impression whenever
holding it.
Look
Boba,
at Colin is.
whenever
No,
Boba,
I didn't know that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I always
when he
thought
picks
that
up the head,
was in the helmet.
it was just
No.
gonna flop out of the
When
bottom.
Boba picks it up. I was like, why is the head not.
Yeah, my brother and I, when we first saw it in theaters a long time ago.
By the way,
We were
guys, my background's freaking out. Frog Lady is in the cantina in
Oh,
in chapter 5 for like
There you
literally a second.
Oh.
Also, the ant guy is also in the cantina in chapter 5.
Ooh,
Oh,
okay.
that's
There you go.
cool.
So I just
Look
looked
at
it
us
up.
doing
so.
this investigating while literally
Well,
recording podcast. How funny is that?
Well, well, James, I am also I'm also the same way for episode 3, where like I didn't like until I watched on a big like TV, I didn't know that like when Anakin cuts off Count Dooku's head, you actually see it like actually fall off and roll
Yeah,
around.
you see it roll back, and then
Yeah.
his body covers the next like couple of rolls and everything.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I thought that was interesting too. Interesting. Wow.
I also didn't know the heads
Decapitation.
roll. I thought that they were like they're not spherical enough to roll, but
Hey,
they
They
roll.
do. Oh,
There's
they
enough
do.
momentum.
it's Star Wars.
Yeah. It's
There's
Star
stuff
Wars.
there's stuff
You
in
can't
Star
put
Wars that
logic
doesn't make
into
any
it, yeah.
sense.
I was gonna say, and I told that to Sam too. Like when we were doing the Clone Wars commentary, like you can't put logic into it because most of it doesn't make sense. Like of course there is sound in Star Wars, like in space, like it's gonna happen,
Shouldn't be.
but there
Should
is.
Ships should not be able to move that way in space, but they do. So
But they do.
We're just gonna go with that. All right.
Yeah.
What else? What else about Chapter 10 of Mandalorian?
Space toilets.
Uh,
We saw
Oh,
officially.
we also do see him actually use that area to fall asleep.
Yeah. He actually goes to the bathroom. I mean, he has to go to the bathroom. No, that was another thing. My buddy was like, "Was that toilet there in season 1?" I was like, "Yeah, that toilet was there in season 1."
What do we see it in season 1? I thought
Yeah.
we did.
Yeah, we do.
Because
I
that guy he
just-
captures
episode.
wants to use the toilet.
Well, I know he talks about using the back tube and then evacuating the thorax. I remember all that, right? But I didn't know.
Yeah, he actually like.
I guess I'm just wrong. I thought we had a conversation about this earlier, how we hadn't seen a space toilet. We might see that in season 2. So
Yeah, it looks just like a totally.
I was excited when I saw it, but
Like,
I
wait a
guess
minute.
I'm just wrong. I guess I'm
This
just wrong.
stainless steel prison toilet inside.
Yeah.
the Razor
Yeah,
Crest.
essentially.
But yeah, it was really interesting to see him go to sleep with his helmet on. I'm like, really, dude? Like, you don't even take it off when you go to sleep? Like, at least
Not
when you
memory foam padding, man. It's like a pillow. It's like a pillow for your head.
It's so funny. I was like,
There was the action figure that is getting released and actually has the option to take his helmet off, and he's not scarred or anything. So that might hint at that we might see him take off the helmet during the season 2.
I'm sure he'll take it off once or twice.
Yeah.
I think he will.
Take it off.
Take it off. But yeah, I'm just trying to think of all the other Easter eggs that if we missed any.
I
And it
like
was-
the fact that Zero reappeared. Richard
Oh, yeah.
Ayoade, his character, we get to hear his voice again, and
Mhm.
it looks like he's all there, kind of in pieces on the Razor Crest. So maybe he'll get rebuilt, a la IG-11.
So why did he keep all those pieces? Like that blew me away. You think
He's
he would have
Dutch.
been like,
Well, I mean, if he
Trophy?
needs credits, I mean, he can trade
can
that.
sell
or-
it. Yeah.
Parts.
Yeah.
Everything's
That-
worth something.
but that was really cool though that she was able to hotwire the
Mhm.
thing and like
I thought
Talk
that was
to him
super
that way.
cool.
I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah, but she can't speak English. I mean, like level of knowledge to reprogram a droid to speak for you, but
It might have already had the capabilities, right? She just was able to tap
Mhm.
into it. I mean, that's
I feel like
Right.
not all species have like the literal physical abilities to speak certain languages, which is why they can't. So maybe she's one of those.
Yeah.
I like
Because
the
she
fact
can
that
why
under- she
they
can
have
understand
protocol
it clearly.
droids.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like C-3PO knows how many languages? Do we know offhand what he says?
what's
Um,
Poe say? A
6
gazillion.
million?
Something
Yeah.
on the like nine.
Yeah,
9
whatever.
million
Whatever.
forms of
What I'm
communication?
saying,
I don't know.
yeah, sounds right. Regardless, like I'm sure like other droids could talk like a million trillion different languages too. Like I mean,
Yeah,
obviously that's
true.
like his purpose as a
Mhm.
protocol droid, but
Yeah.
I my guess is she was able to like hack into like the communication part of that droid.
I love how
Right.
she's like, get up, Mando. I was like, that's funny, man. She's like, you gotta get up. And how she like calls him out. She's like, I thought your people were supposed to be like this. I guess that's just story
Yeah.
for kids. And he's like, oh.
It's like, God damn.
He's like, come
C3PO
on.
can comprehend 6 million different forms of communication.
6
million?
6 million?
Okay,
Oh,
that's
6
what I said
million.
first.
I was
Okay.
very off.
Something else that I wanted to see if maybe someone could correct me on this, but apparently the docking bay that that Mando keeps landing in on Tatooine is the same docking bay that the Falcon was in A New Hope.
No, it's not.
That's way
It's
smaller.
the docking base
Okay. Way
35
smaller.
in The Mandalorian. It's 94 in A New Hope.
Okay, good. All right. I just wanted to make sure because of I keep seeing like people say it is, and I was like, I don't think it is.
Yeah,
Oh,
nah,
so,
nah. It's
okay.
too
They
small.
shouldn't have a podcast.
Cheating crickets, man.
So it kind of, I know this is like a deep cut and this is kind of off like a tangent, but I think Favreau has maybe a relationship or he's like a fan of Kevin Durant because he played Rio Durant in Solo and Kevin Durant's number is 35. So I don't know if there's a connection there. I haven't heard anyone talk about that.
We
And
got
he played in the Bay Area. He played for the Warriors.
Okay.
That's an interesting factoid that may or may not be a real thing. I'm gonna now that you say that, I'm gonna just be like look and be like, hey, you like Kevin Durant?
How much
Yeah.
do you like Kevin Durant?
Look at his shoes, because Kevin Durant has a line of shoes, and if we ever see him wearing those shoes, then I'll be like, David was right.
Well, I got another
Kevin Durant.
fun fact for you there, Matt. I actually
Uh-oh.
have held Kevin Durant's actual shoes. I have a picture of me holding the shoes.
Did you
My
have
dentist
permission?
is actually friends
Okay.
with a Thunder player, and he
Oh,
goes to a
jeez.
bunch of like games. And yeah, his shoe was like.
I
about-
instantly just imagine David like in his house, like.
No, it was actually at
Got
a dentist office actually, and it was like the shoes like this big.
Oh wow.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
What kind of dentist office do you go to? I want to go to that dentist office.
They have shoes there. It's pretty cool.
They have like adult-sized lollipops when you're done.
Oh man. Is
Well-
there any other Easter eggs like or anything that we missed?
Nah, I think we got it all. I was gonna say that the spiders running around reminded me, of the mist, as well as the spider sequence in Lost in Space,
And also
Harry
also
Potter.
the spider sequence in Chamber of Secrets. Yeah.
yeah, it was kind of it was creepy. I've never been creeped out by Star Wars before,
Yeah.
but this one had me kind of like, I don't
Boopy.
know, man, it was a little too much, you know.
I did not think I didn't think that the main like big spider was going to be that big until I got closer to camera. I'm like, that thing is huge.
Yeah, it was like all
Oh
over
my
the
gosh.
ship.
Yeah.
They just
Oh
looked
gosh.
fine.
no.
Fun factoid that about this this entire season was the film score that went along with it was written by Ludwig Göransson,
Mhm.
Yeah.
who
Göransson.
also assisted in the film soundtrack for 2018's Black Panther.
Ooh.
So
Yeah,
I
and he
feel-
won an Academy Award.
Yeah, he
for
won
Black
the
Panther.
Oscar for
I
Black
love that like the FCU and like the Star Wars universe like clash and overlap in a lot of different ways. And one of
Well,
Well, yeah,
I'm-
because oh man, the director of Black Panther, I forgot.
Yeah,
his
Ryan
name.
Coogler. They were roommates in college. That's how they met.
And so he did Creed, Fruitville. He did Fruitville Station, Creed, and Black Panther. And he
That's a
told
lot.
Favreau, like, "Hey, this guy's really good. You should hire him for your Mandalorian show." And so he hired.
How do you
him.
become roommates with a Swedish film composer?
But he's
They were in
American.
college
Though.
at the same time. It was just.
Is he from
random.
America? Because that his last name's Swedish.
I believe he is, because if you ever hear him speak, he has just a regular accent, because I always thought he was also, like you said, Swedish, but then when he speaks, I'm like, oh, okay, he was just born here in America.
Oh, he also produces alongside Childish Gambino.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, this guy's awesome. This composer's really good. I like him a lot, and I like the fact that he got
He
these
is
giant
he is
recorders.
he is Swedish. He's born in Sweden and his nationality is Swedish.
Well, that's awesome.
Mm.
Well, I'm wrong then, I guess.
That's fine. I guess he
can't
just
hear
really has a
accents.
really good American accent or something. I don't know.
But yeah, he won the Oscar for Black Panther, so he's
Best original score for Black Panther. Right
Yep.
there. There it is.
How old is
Awesome.
he? He's not that old, is he?
No,
he was
he's very
born in
young.
1984.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's not that old.
then.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
Cool
36.
he's a cool dude.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, I'm curious to see what you're ranking 1 to 10 scale for chapters 9 and 10 since we didn't do it last episode.
For chapter 9 for me, I say 10. I thought that episode was awesome. Chapter 10 for me personally, I would probably have to, because again, it kind of did feel like a filler episode, but at the same time it didn't. Because again, if you're introducing a new character, you like have to kind of tell its story and build it up. So
I agree.
and that's what season 1 was building these characters, so then we could fall in love with them even more in later seasons. And that's what this episode did for the Frog Lady. And so for me, it's a 9.
Heard that.
I don't know. I don't want to rank them right now since it's just 2 of them. So we'll just.
Well, your current ranking. I mean, it's probably going to change once we get the full.
Well, I mean, like we're saying, like which one was better? Is that what we're saying, or
not
like,
really? No,
No,
just
rank each one out of
what did
1
it
to
rank
10
personally
kind of
for you? What's your personal opinion?
Personal rank for 9 was about a 9, and 10 was about a 7, maybe.
That's exactly what I would
Yeah.
say, actually.
Because
Colin was like, well, and then his wife or his fiance says something. He's like, okay.
oh, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. But no, because 9 was just like, oh my gosh, like the scale of that episode was huge. And then you get to this one, and they it's a smaller scale.
Yeah.
It's like one of those like, okay, where's this gonna go? But then again, we still don't know how it's gonna play out in the next couple episodes. Who knows? Maybe this episode was very, very important, and we're not gonna
It's
know.
the beginning of a big arc
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah,
like
and then like episode like 8, we're gonna be like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. So I'm gonna say 9 and 7 right now for these 2.
I'm gonna agree with you on that.
I like that. That's a fair assessment.
Thank you very much.
You're so welcome.
Sam, how about you?
I'm going 8.5 for the first one and like a 7.5 for the second one. That's what I'm gonna say. I think, and the reason I say that is I think there's so much room to make like absolutely incredible stuff that I think like episode 9 was great. Don't get me wrong, but I think they do have room to bring it up. Like if we're talking about like season finales and stuff, it's gonna be way better. And I'm not gonna vote something at 10 yet.
Okay.
I feel like episode 9 would have been a little bit higher for me if Boba Fett had an actual like position in the show other than like at the end, like, no, that's cool. All right, bye. Do something. Come on. Get in there.
I like the fact that he just showed him. It's like, you
Oh,
know.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Favreau was like, oh, by the way, yeah. And that's all he had to say.
Yeah, he was like at the end, he's like, oh, don't forget.
We know.
Yeah.
What if he just like doesn't show up again? Like that was his one and only appearance.
No. God.
Oh man.
I thought he was going to show up though in this episode.
I did too, especially when I saw they were still on Tatooine and they spent some time there. I'm like, oh, Boba Fett's going to show up. And he just
yeah.
So and come back, I guess.
I was not happy. Like I loved everything that happened on Tatooine, but I was like, wait, they're still on Tatooine. Like Boba Fett has to show up. And and then the bounty hunters did. I thought the last minute, like maybe Fett would like come up, take out the bounty hunters and be like, all right, I helped you out. I want that armor. And then he like walks off. Like I thought something like that would happen, but
I didn't think he was going to show up. I think they're going to try to drag it out and not have it all just happen all at once.
I know, but we don't want that.
I know.
Wow.
They're going to do what they want.
I want it now.
But anyways, I was So what else we got? Is that our Mandalorian discussion or?
Does anyone know how like does anyone know about Daniel Logan's contract with the Mandalorian? Like how many places or times he'll show up or how big his contract
That's not Daniel Logan, by the way.
Wait, who am I? Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to say Daniel Logan.
Morrison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how big, like does anyone know how big his contract is?
I don't think anyone really knows officially, but I think we do know he is contracted and he's an actor
gonna
for
show
season
up,
2 of The Mandalorian.
Hmm.
I think we know that much. And of course, we talked about the rumored Boba Fett limited series for Disney Plus. So that happens. He'll be the main actor.
Right. And something else that is great is that he also plays all the clones. So if Captain Rex does show up, that is going to be amazing. I would love to see a live action Captain Rex. And since he's already there for Boba Fett, then why not do Captain Rex? Because of Dave Filoni did do that drawing where Ahsoka and Rex are on the creatures that resemble wolves from Rebels.
Like a sensory overload. I'd be like, too much is happening. You can't put like Jango Fett, Rex, and Ahsoka on there at the same time. I'd be like, my mind would blow up.
Jango Fett.
Boba Fett.
God, so many words are in my brain.
But
See, the idea of it's freaking my brain out.
But yeah, that'd be pretty crazy though. Like if he comes back and he could play all the clone troop, the troops again and everything.
Yeah.
And Oh, that it's just insane where the Mandalorian can go. Like that's
Right.
what I love
I
about
agree.
this show is, and if they do what I think they're gonna do with this season and where they end it, season 3 is gonna be the absolute like most insane
Could
season
you
ever.
explain that theory? Because if you've said that twice, and
Because
I don't know what you're
so
thinking.
so what's happening is he's gonna be going on his adventures. He's gonna be trying to find Mandalorians. We're gonna get the Boba Fett type of thing, and then he's got to run into Moff Gideon again.
Yeah.
And then so at the very very end of like episode, how many episodes are we doing this season? 9,
8.
It's always 8.
8. At the end of 8, what's gonna happen is there's gonna be a big fight. Ahsoka's gonna show up at the very end, and then it's gonna like cut to black, meaning season 3 is gonna start with Ahsoka, and Ahsoka's gonna say like, I have to help you take this child because I know about him. And then season 3 would be the 3 of them all together trying to protect this child and get it to safety.
You don't think that'd be the plot of the Mandalorian film?
Well,
I mean, thought about the film, but I think season 3, if they do that, season 3 is gonna be awesome.
Well, so something that I've been kind of thinking about lately is what happens if they kind of do an Empire Strikes Back kind of ending for the season where Boba Fett ends up getting his armor back, and then he also takes Baby Yoda and delivers him to Moff Gideon, and then that is where it's kind of like, oh my gosh, like in the next season he has to go and try and save Baby Yoda, and then that will establish his reputation from the Empire Strikes Back of where we know that Boba Fett is this very kind of scary guy that like people are threatened by. I mean, because if he has this big reputation, but a guy who's been, kind of off the radar for all these years because he got stabbed in the back by Han Solo and he fell in the Sarlacc pit. Like it's like he's not that intimidating, but when he captures Baby Yoda, where all these other bounty hunters couldn't do that, then that will bring him back into the main game again. And then that's where Ahsoka would be like, you know what, I know who Baby Yoda is, I'm gonna help you out. But I could see that happening to where we have that Empire Strikes Back type ending.
That'd be a good cliffhanger too, because everybody would just be like, oh my gosh, it didn't win happily ever after. Like he's like the child is no longer with the Mandalorian. We have to see season 3 now that could work too. And you know what? You're probably right. That's the best way to end the season. Just with that like moment. So
hire Colin. Star Wars hire Colin. That's
hire Colin over here.
Actually, can you just hire like all of us?
Yeah, just get us all in there. We'll be good. We're all pretty cool people.
At least give us like the team at the end of our podcast. I'll be fine with that. That's fine.
So, anything else?
No.
No.
All right.
No.
What
No,
about
it's,
predictions for chapter 11?
I think they're gonna get to the planet and
Daddy Frog.
What's up?
We're gonna see Daddy Frog.
Yeah, we're gonna see Daddy Frog.
That's what I'm gonna call him.
Well, I wonder if they're gonna call him like because she's lady. Is she Frog Lady?
Frog
Lady.
So he's gonna be
according to Wikipedia and fandom.
So he's gonna be Frogman. Yeah, we're gonna see Frogman, Frog. They're gonna be on the barge going on the water.
On the boat, yeah.
Yeah, and then that mysterious figure, we're finally got to see her. Remember from the trailer where she's like hiding, like
who? Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Do you guys actually think that is Sabine?
No,
I mean, it could be. I mean, that's. I mean, what reason could it not be Sabine? I mean,
but here's the thing:
no real good reason there.
If it is Sabine, the next episode's Filoni's. So what a good way to start introducing these characters, so that Filoni's like, I have arrived. You know,
they have to at least bring up Sabine at some point this season because Darksaber.
Yeah, man. Plus, the Frog Lady knows of one of a Mandalorian. So
a Mandalorian covert. So multiple Mandalorians.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. I think that's right on. Yeah, that could totally be Sabine.
So Filoni's episode isn't next week. It's the week after that. It's the 27th. It's on Black Friday.
So I mean, I don't, in my opinion, I don't think it is Sabine, because of if they did Sabine, you would think they would bring the original actress that did the voice for her because of the original voice actress actually actually looks like the character.
Well, they didn't do that with Ahsoka though,
I know.
and she looks like the character. So.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see what they do, and who knows? Maybe it'll. I don't know. I think
all blend in.
This season's going to get really, really interesting. This next episode, so I'm really excited for it. I cannot wait till Friday.
I'm also hoping that we see the character Bo-Katan as well, because of the person that is the voice for her, like, has been strongly saying that she wants to be part of the Mandalorian. So seeing her
I'm
would
pretty
be
sure
cool
she is. It's Katie Sackhoff, and she's been very active lately on social media. But of course, she cannot say anything about Star Wars.
Yeah,
but it's like, she's gonna be in it.
I don't know, man. We'll see. I think
the dream is to bring in the Filoniverse in live action.
Oh, you think we're gonna get a Hondo live action?
I'm hoping, man.
I think
it better be better than the one at Galaxy's Edge, because that guy's creepy.
Well, that's the thing, because
that's what he looks like live action.
A lot of people have no idea who Hondo is, right? If they brought him into Mando, that would be,
Yeah, and
I
mean,
new character. Nope, it's not a new character, buddy.
No, and I mean, and something else that I wish they did for the Rise of Skywalker, because of that timeline fit well, is if Hondo like dropped off the Falcon to them, like in the beginning of Rise, because of the Smuggler's Run, like the whole like area of Galaxy's Edge takes place between episode 8 and episode 9, so it was like that would be a perfect thing to do. But to see Hondo and the Mandalorian would be pretty cool to see, and not only like that character, but maybe if they go to the world of Galaxy's Edge. Like, I mean, like right now in California,
I think they have to.
Perfect time to film. Yeah,
I think they have to go to bots. If Disney was Disney, which they're crazy, there'd be like, what better way to get people to come to our park than to be like, hey, it's in the Mandalorian.
Colin brought this up. They could film there right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And they could have been.
I know. It's
almost a year now.
It's the perfect time. No one is over there. I mean, it's still shut down. It's the perfect place to film. I mean, like if there was a leak, helicopters would probably fly over and see cameras. But I guarantee, like if they don't say anything and they just do it out of nowhere, and like it probably won't get leaked. Like, I mean, it
they
seriously
probably already
is the
filmed
perfect
it.
time to do it.
They probably already filmed.
I hope so, man. It would be so cool. It would be awesome, and then that would get more people to be like, wait, this place actually exists, and then that would draw more people in. So I mean,
Disney doesn't want more people to come right now.
I know, but
then that'd be a reason to bring Hondo in.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Hondo showed up at Anaka Transports?
I would probably cry.
That would probably,
because I really do love that character.
As Smuggler's Run, maybe.
Oh yeah. I'm like, I mean,
he could
like your theory of Hondo dropping off the Millennium Falcon. That definitely would have canonized it.
I know,
but the Falcon ended up on Jakku. We don't know how that happened, right?
But
why would it go to Batu and then to Jakku and then back to Batu?
Ray briefly describes how it gets there in the.
And so does Han a little bit. How, like that little his timeline of.
Yeah.
Well, you tell him.
Filled in the gaps. I cannot remember what they said, but.
Please don't get mad at us, listeners. We do our best on this podcast.
Yeah, no. So so seeing that character and Galaxy's Edge would be super cool. And awesome. I think you're right, James. I think like maybe they might have filmed it already without us knowing it. Or we could see it in season 3. Because they are starting to film season 3 pretty soon, and it's still shut down. So why not use that opportunity to go and do that?
I agree.
You know how many seasons we're getting? Do they have that number?
Season 3 and season 4 are confirmed, and then there's also the possible of them doing a movie, because I don't think the movie's been confirmed, David, right? Or no?
No, I think only season 3 has technically been confirmed, but Giancarlo Esposito has done interviews where he talks about season 4.
Oh, okay.
So it's like he knows something we don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, Favreau is just like waiting. He's like, I got the whole thing, man. He's like, I got the whole story ready to go. Just give me the green light, and it's gonna be awesome.
Right. So I mean, and the great thing about the Mandalorian is that there's this big time gap from Return of the Jedi all the way to Force Awakens. So there's so much stuff to cover and there's so much to explore. And I love how we keep seeing these new planets. And I mean, and I love seeing the original planets, but exploring like new creatures, new life forms. Okay, now I'm sounding like Star Trek, but like it's I mean it's so cool for them to kind of like just explore new stuff in the Star Wars universe that we've always wanted to see in the films. And The Mandalorian gives us the opportunity to see that kind of stuff. And it's awesome.
And plus, we see the Razor Crest in The Rise of Skywalker. So somewhere, somehow, either it's him, somebody else, somebody is on that, and that ship makes it all the way to The Rise of Skywalker. So we have this whole timeline to play with. So it's exciting, dude. I love it, man. It's just, who knows where it can go, but I'm excited for it no matter what.
I agree. All right. Well,
I
think that's everything.
I'm gonna spend like the next hour trying to like follow the timeline of the Millennium Falcon, how it ended up on Jakku.
Well, let us know and let everyone know on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram, everybody. Facebook. If you're not a part of our Patreon, head down there. We have a link there down below. You can click on it. And,
we've been doing a lot of commentary stuff over there, and we've got new segments coming up too. So
so
I think I might have already found the answer.
Well, tell us.
Well, I'll just read it and then I'll see what you guys think. It says, it was stolen from Han Solo by a man named Gannis Duquesne. Duquesne was a gun runner who Han Solo owed money, so Duquesne took the Falcon as payment by force. Duquesne had it stolen from him by the Irving boys, 2 outlaw brothers and space pirates. The ship was stolen by the Irving brothers by Unkar Plutt's thugs. When the Irving boys were on Jakku, trying to settle a score with the Kuba's banker named Ricard Lovis. They remained hidden in the Lima outpost under the Unbar Plutt's ownership until Rey steals it from the junkyard in her escape from the Imperial bombing.
Beautiful.
Force Awakens. Wow. Well, there you go.
It gets stolen a bunch and then ends up in a junkyard.
Yeah.
Sounds about right for the Falcon. But again, thank you all so much for listening to this podcast. We had a lot of fun, and tune in this Friday for the next episode of Mandalorian. Rudy and I will do another commentary. And again, thank you so much for listening, and good seeing everybody again. It's been a while. Good to see everybody and meet you, Sam. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Picture in the back. And yes, again, thank you for listening, and may the Force be with you.
Always.
We have spoken.